FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your photo news fix. This fix is brought to you by Squarespace. JaredPoln.com is built using Squarespace, and I wouldn't use anything else if you're a photographer or a creative. It's simple, easy, affordable, and you don't need to know any coding because I honestly know shit about coding. To get a 14-day free trial without a credit card, go to squarespace.com/FroKnowsPhoto, and if you decide that it's for you, use the code FroKnowsPhoto at checkout to get 10% off your first order. First up, do you remember when super small studios in a box came out and were really popular with the eBay crowd? They were great for shooting things like He-Man, but what if you wanted to shoot something larger, like a person? And no, I'm not talking about somebody that is Vern Troyer's size either. Well, there's good news. A company called Conscene has released a human-sized light tent that's supposedly quick to assemble. Now, before we get too far, they are not the first company to have a human-sized light tent. Last2Light has a mini studio cube that's not exactly mini at 5 by 5 by 7 feet and pops up in a second, but lacks lighting. The Conscene is the first light tent to come with 8 LED light strips that are dimmable and come with PVC background boards that are white, blue, and black. Now, who needs a studio space anymore when you can simply buy this thing and shoot like a pro for only $340? Something tells me this product is really well built and probably won't break on you quickly. And if you believe that, I shoot JPEG. Next up, FUJI. Dan, please pass me the helmet for my protection so I don't get in trouble from fan people. While I was in Hawaii last week, FUJI unveiled the X-T3, which is their 4th generation APS-C size mirrorless camera. Speaking of Hawaii, look at this amazing tote bag that Canon gave me. Now let's see what's in it. A towel to wipe away all my tears, a water bottle to catch all my tears, and a calculator so we can add up how much Canon paid us. This camera packs a new 26.1 megapixel back illuminated APS-C size sensor without a low pass filter, and it has an ISO range of 160 to 12,800. There's a new X processor with a quad core CPU that has a processing speed 3 times faster than the previous X cameras. Now this will help with faster AF as well as metering and should lead to more accurate tracking of fast moving subjects. I'd like to see the iPhone try to match that, Dan. Steven's away. You can shoot 11 frames per second with the mechanical shutter and get this, up to 30 frames with the electronic shutter when you add a 1.25x crop. Now what's that? Well, Canon, you give us again what? Oh, right, 1 frame with the electronic shutter, because you suck. They don't actually suck. They didn't pay me to say that. They're actually backing their truck up to get their money back right now. FUJI offers 16 film simulation modes, including color chrome effects and monochrome. Now, am I the only one who thinks this is stupid? I know, stop hating on FUJI, but couldn't FUJI simply release these effects as presets for Lightroom and call it a day? Shoot raw, process later to your heart's content. It's not very hard. Continuing on with new features, the phase detection AF area now covers the entire frame, and low light focusing has been expanded by 2 stops. You will see improvements to face detect as well as IAF for photos, and you'll now be able to use these features when shooting video, something Nikon, Canon, and Sony can't do. Speaking of video, the X-T3 is the first mirrorless camera to offer 4K at 60p 420 10-bit recording internally to an SD card. Oh yeah, unlike Nikon and Canon who have larger cameras, FUJI somehow was able to squeeze 2 SD cards side by side into the body. What's your excuse, Nikon and Canon? They didn't pay me to say that either, Dan. Don't you hear that truck backing up? Beep, beep, they're coming to get their money. Honestly, the specs are super solid on this camera, and I can't wait to get my hands on it to do a real-world review that a lot of people will shit on. If this sounds like something for you, it will be here September 20th in black and silver for a price of $1,500 for the body only, and I think it's time to switch, but the only thing holding me back is I wish it came in black and yellow, black and yellow. And finally, who needs a real camera, or photographer for that matter, when all you need is the new iPhone XS, which I like to call the I Quit, because I'm giving up photography now that anybody can purchase one of these phones and take better pictures than me. The new iPhone can get sweet bokeh all without needing expensive cameras or lenses. Now just look at this. You can take a portrait mode photo and change the f-stop after. So if you don't like how it looks at f1.8, don't worry. you can change it later to f8. How amazing is that? Dan, it kind of sounds like the Lytro tech from a few years ago, though the Lytro tech actually sucked hard. What I find interesting is that they used actual f-stops instead of more blur or less blur to tell you whether you're getting more or less. Maybe this will lead people to a better understanding of photography, or maybe simply they won't care. Is this feature cool? Yes. Will a phone be replacing real cameras anytime soon?
No.
I love Apple, and I get that the iPhone is the most popular camera in the world, but all the examples show these portrait mode photos that involve subjects in the perfect spot, doing the perfect thing, in order to get the perfect photo. Good luck getting the same results with candid photos or action photos for that matter. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get fantastic results with an iPhone if you know what you're doing, but again, these phones are not a substitute for people like you and me. Maybe they'll replace Dan, but not you and me. And there you have it. That's your photo news fix this time around. To check out the last fix, go ahead and click on the screen right here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and do all of that good stuff. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.